After studying this module, you shall be able to know about the effect of expansion on the thermodynamic properties like work done, change in internal energy, enthalpy change, etc. Differentiate between the work done in isothermal expansion and isothermal compression. Know about the dependency of thermodynamic quantities Q, W, delta H on temperature in case of adiabatic expansion. Differentiate the change in enthalpy in the case of real gas and ideal gas. Expansion of ideal gas. From the first law of thermodynamics, we can calculate the possible changes in thermodynamic properties such as Q, W, delta U and delta H when expansion occurs in ideal gas. The expansion may be isothermal or adiabatic and expansion can be reversible or irreversible. Isothermal expansion. Calculation of delta U. In isothermal expansion, the temperature of the system does not vary. The internal energy U of an ideal gas is a function of temperature. So, at constant temperature, isothermal process, the internal energy of the system remains constant. Therefore, delta U will become equal to 0. Calculation of delta H. Thermodynamically, H is equal to U plus PV. Therefore, delta H is equal to delta U plus PV is equal to delta U plus delta PV is equal to delta U plus delta nRT from ideal gas equation. But in isothermal process, delta T is equal to 0 and delta U is equal to 0. Therefore, delta H is equal to 0. Calculation of Q and W. From the first law of thermodynamics, we derive that delta U is equal to Q plus W. Since in isothermal process, delta U is equal to 0, hence W is equal to minus Q. This shows that by absorption of heat, the work is done by the system in isothermal expansion. Work done in reversible isothermal expansion. Consider a system in which gas is enclosed in a cylinder with frictionless and weightless piston. The temperature of the system remains constant since system is supposed to be in thermal equilibrium with the surroundings. The external pressure P on the piston is equal to the pressure of the gas within the cylinder. The expansion of the gas occurs and the volume of the gas changes from V to V plus TV. When the external pressure of the gas is lowered by infinitesimal amount dP to become P minus Tp. Because of expansion, the pressure of the gas becomes equal to the external pressure. The piston then comes to rest. Further, if the process is repeated and the external pressure is lowered by infinitesimal amount Tp, then the gas will undergo second infinitesimal expansion dV before the pressure again equals to new external pressure. Continuing the process, the external pressure will further be lowered, which results in increase of volume dV each time. Since the system is in thermal equilibrium with the surroundings, the infinitesimally small cooling produced as a result of infinitesimally small expansion of the gas at each step is offset by the heat absorbed from the surroundings and the temperature remains constant throughout the operation. During expansion, pressure decreases and the volume increases. Thus, the work done by the gas for the small volume change in an infinitesimal expansion is given by dW is equal to minus P minus dP dV, which is equal to minus P dV. Since the product dP dV is very small quantity, therefore it is ignored. The total work done W by the gas in expanding from volume V1 to the volume V2 will be the sum of series of the terms PdV in which pressure keeps on decreasing and is given by W is equal to minus integral from Vi1 to V2 P dV is equal to W. Substituting P is equal to RT by V in the above expression for 1 mole of an ideal gas, thus giving W is equal to minus RT integral from V1 to V2 dV by V is equal to minus RT ln V2 by V1. At constant temperature, V1 is equal to P2 V2 for the case of ideal gas. Thus, work done can also be written as W is equal to minus RT ln P1 by P2. For n moles of gas, the work done can be written as W is equal to minus nRT ln V2 by V1 is equal to minus nRT ln P1 by P2, which is equal to minus 2.303 nRT log P1 by P2. As V2 is greater than V1 in case of expansion and P2 is less than P1, thus in above equation, work done will always be negative. The expansion of a given amount for n moles of gas results into decrease in the moles per unit volume. Can be modified to represent the work done when an ideal solution is diluted from initial concentration C1 to final concentration C2. Since Ci is NIBV, therefore W is minus nRT ln C1 by C2. Work done in reversible isothermal compression. Now suppose gas is compressed reversibly from volume V2 to V1. In this case, the external pressure will be greater than pressure inside the cylinder by an infinitesimal amount dP. Thus, external pressure will be P plus dP. Let the gas is compressed by an infinitesimal amount, say dV. The two parameters pressure and volume are of opposite signs, as during compression the pressure increases and the volume decreases. Now the expression for the infinitesimal amount of work done on the system by the surroundings is dW is equal to minus P plus dP into dV is equal to minus P dV. Here the term dP dV is small quantity, therefore it is ignored. Let the gas is compressed from volume V2 to V1. Then the work done W dash by the surroundings on the gas is given by W dash is equal to minus integral from V2 to V1 P dV. Taking the gas to be ideal, thus substituting P is equal to RT by V and P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 in the above expression, we get W dash is equal to minus RT over the integral from V2 to V1 dV by V is equal to minus RT ln V1 by V2 is equal to minus RT ln P2 by P1. For n moles of gas, the work done is given by W dash is equal to minus nRT ln V1 by V2 is equal to minus nRT ln P2 by P1. Since during compression the initial volume V2 is greater than V1 and P2 is less than P1, thus W dash will always be positive. Work done in irreversible isothermal expansion. In this section, two types of irreversible isothermal expansion will be discussed. These are expansion against zero pressure, that is in vacuum, which we call as free expansion, and secondly expansion against constant external pressure, which should be less than the pressure of the gas, that is P external is less than P, called intermediate expansion. First is free expansion. In free expansion, the external pressure is 0. Therefore, the work done is given by W is equal to minus integral of dW, which is equal to minus integral P external dV equal to 0. Intermediate expansion. Let the volume expand from V1 to V2 against an external pressure P external, then the work done will be equal to W is equal to minus integral from V1 to V2 P external dV, which is equal to minus P external V2 minus V1. The work done during intermediate isothermal expansion is less than the work done during reversible isothermal expansion. Since P external is less than P in the case of intermediate isothermal expansion, while P external is almost equal to P in the case of reversible isothermal expansion, the work done by the gas during expansion is minus W. Therefore, minus W is P external into nRT by P2 minus nRT by P1. Minus W is equal to nRT into 1 minus P2 by P1 if P2 is similar as that of P external. Adiabatic expansion. In adiabatic expansion, no heat is transferred between the system and the surroundings, that is Q is equal to 0. Thus, equation first law of thermodynamics becomes delta U is equal to 0 plus W or W is equal to delta U. Since in expansion, work is done by the system, so W will always be negative. Thus, delta U will always be negative. Due to decrease in internal energy, the temperature of the system also decreases. This states that work is done at the expense of internal energy of the gas, while in compression W is positive. Therefore, delta U will be positive, which consequently increases the temperature of the system. This states that the work is stored in the system in the form of rise in internal energy. Now, the calculation of delta U. At constant volume, the molar heat capacity for an ideal gas is given by Cv is equal to del U by del T at constant V. Accordingly, finite change in internal energy will be delta U is equal to Cv dt. Calculation of delta H. From classical thermodynamics, enthalpy is given by H is equal to U plus PV. So, change in enthalpy for 1 mole of gas is delta H is equal to delta U plus delta PV is equal to delta U plus R delta T. Substituting the value of delta U, we get delta H is equal to Cv delta T plus R delta T is equal to Cv plus R delta T is equal to Cp delta T. Calculation of W. In adiabatic process, Q is equal to 0. Thus, from the first law equation, delta U is equal to Q plus W. The work done will be given by W is equal to delta U is equal to Cv delta T. We can say that all the three quantities delta U, delta H and W are dependent on temperature. Since the variation in temperature depends upon the nature of process, that is whether the process is reversible or irreversible, thus the magnitude of thermodynamic properties will also vary with the nature of process. Final temperatures in reversible and irreversible adiabatic expansions. In reversible adiabatic expansions, the final temperature in the case of reversible adiabatic expansion is obtained from the expressions which relate the initial and the final temperatures to the respective volumes or pressures. Relation between temperature and volume. Let the expansion is done against the external pressure P and delta V be the increase in volume. Then the external work done by the system is equal to minus P delta V. Hence, according to first law of equation, delta U is minus P delta V. Let the fall in temperature be delta T and delta U is equal to Cv delta T. Therefore, Cv delta T is equal to minus P dV. For infinitesimally small quantities, Cv dt is equal to minus P dV is equal to minus RT dV by V for 1 mole of gas. If we divide the above equation by T, we get Cv dt by T is equal to minus R dV by V, or Cv d ln T is equal to minus R d ln V, or Cv by R d ln T equal to minus d ln V. Integrating this equation between the limits of temperature T1 and T2 with the corresponding volumes V1 and V2, we get Cv ln T2 by T1 equal to minus R ln V2 by V1 is equal to R ln V1 by V2, or ln T2 by T1 is equal to R by Cv ln V1 by V2. Since Cp minus Cv is equal to R and substituting Cp by Cv is equal to gamma, we get ln T2 by T1 is equal to Cv by R equal to ln V1 by V2 for 1 mole. T2 is equal to T1 V1 by V2 to the power Nr by Cv is equal to T1 into V1 by V2 to the power R by Cvm. Therefore, T2 is equal to T1 V1 by V2 to the power gamma minus 1, or T1 by T2 is equal to V2 by V1 to the power gamma minus 1, where gamma is always greater than 1. Since in the case of expansion, V2 is greater than V1 and T2 is less than T1, hence a gas cools during reversible adiabatic expansion. For irreversible adiabatic expansion, in this section, two cases will be considered. Number one, free expansion. In the case of free expansion, the external pressure is 0. Thus, the work done in this expansion is also 0. Therefore, delta U is equal to W is also equal to 0. In the case of ideal gas, the change in the internal energy is function of temperature. Thus, accordingly, if delta U is 0, then delta T is also 0. The change in enthalpy is given by delta H is equal to delta U plus Nr delta T. As delta U and delta T are 0, therefore delta H is also 0. Thus, in a free adiabatic expansion, delta T is equal to 0, W is equal to 0, and hence delta H is equal to 0. In the second case, for intermediate expansion, let the gas expands from the volume V1 to V2 against a constant pressure P external of the gas. Then the work done in the case will be given by W is equal to minus P external into V2 minus V1. In adiabatic expansion, Q is equal to 0. Therefore, from first law of thermodynamics, delta U is equal to Q plus W. Thus, it will become W is equal to delta U since Q is 0. Further, W is equal to delta U is equal to Cv into T2 minus T1. So, from these two equations, P external into V1 minus V2 will become equal to minus Cv into T2 minus T1, or Cv into T1 minus T2 is equal to P external into V1 minus V2, which is equal to Rp external into T1 P2 minus T2 P1 upon P1 P2. Thus, T2 can be calculated from the values of Cv, T1, P1, P2 and P external. Since the external pressure is constant, work of expansion is minus W irreversible is equal to integral from V1 to V2 P external dV is equal to P external V2 minus V1, which is equal to P external into nR T2 by P2 minus nR T1 by P1. Reversible isothermal expansion of a van der Waals gas. Now finding the expression for W, delta U, delta H and Q for reversible isothermal expansion of a real gas, work of expansion W is already stated that in the expansion of the gas, the work done is minus dW is equal to PdV, which can be written as minus W is equal to integral from V1 to V2 PdV. Since the van der Waals gas equation is P plus An square by V square, V minus Nb is equal to nRT, rearranging the expression for pressure, we get P is equal to nRT by V minus Nb minus An square by V square. Now substitute the equation 28 into 26, we get minus W is equal to nRT ln V2 minus Nb upon V1 minus Nb plus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Internal energy changes delta U. Energy is a function of temperature and volume, and it can be represented as E is equal to E as a function of T and V. Taking the differential form, del E will become equal to del E by del T at constant volume into dt plus del E by del V at constant temperature into dV. In the form of heat capacity, the above equation can be written as del E is equal to Cv dt plus del E by del V at constant temperature dV. For isothermal change, dt is equal to 0. Therefore, del E will become equal to del E by del V at constant temperature dV. Del E by del V at constant temperature is internal pressure for van der Waals gas and is given by del E by del V at constant temperature is equal to An square by V square. The internal pressure is also given by del U by del V at constant temperature. Therefore, del U by del V at constant temperature is equal to An square by V square. Rearranging the above equation, change in internal energy at constant temperature will be del U is equal to An square into del V by V square. Integrating the above equation, the change in internal energy, that is the integral of del U is equal to U2 minus U1 equal to delta U is equal to integral of An square dV by V square from V1 to V2 limits is equal to minus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. The enthalpy change delta H is given by H is equal to U plus PV. Let at initial state the enthalpy of gas is H1 is equal to U1 plus P1 V1 and at final stage H2 equal to U2 plus P2 V2. So the change in enthalpy is delta H is equal to H2 minus H1 is equal to U2 plus P2 V2 minus U1 plus P1 V1. Now considering the equation for van der Waals gas, P is equal to nRT by V minus NB minus An square by V square, multiplying both sides by equation by V and substituting the expression of PV in the form of P2 V2 and P1 V1 in equation 33, we get delta H is equal to delta U plus nRT into V2 by V2 minus NB minus V1 upon V1 minus NB plus An square into 1 by V1 minus 1 by V2. Now solving this for, we get NB into V1 minus V2 upon V2 minus NB into V1 minus NB equal to NB upon V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB. If we substitute this equation in equation 34, we get delta H is equal to delta U plus nRT into NB upon V2 minus NB V1 minus NB plus An square into 1 by V1 minus 1 by V2. Now substituting the expression for delta U from equation 30, we finally get delta H is equal to N square BRT into 1 by V2 minus NB minus 1 upon V1 minus NB minus 2 AN square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Heat change Q. From the first law of thermodynamics, we find the expression Q is equal to delta U minus W. Since delta U is minus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1, substituting the expression for W and delta U obtained from equations 29 and 30, we finally get the Q is equal to nRT ln V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB and minus W is equal to nRT ln V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB plus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Comparison of work done of expansion of an ideal gas and non-ideal gas. Work done in expansion of ideal gas, as we have already seen, is given by minus W ideal equal to nRT ln V2 by V1. And that for van der Waals gas is equal to nRT ln V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB plus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. If V is much greater than NB, the equation 37 will become minus W is equal to minus plus nRT ln V2 by V1 plus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. Now subtracting equation 37.1 from 37, we get minus W ideal equal minus W van der Waals equal to minus An square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1 equal to An square V2 minus V1 upon V1 into V2. Since in expansion final volume is greater than the initial volume V1, therefore using in this equation 38, we conclude that reversible work done in case of ideal gas is greater than that of van der Waals gas. This can also be explained physically. An ideal gas has no intermolecular forces, whereas a real or a van der Waals gas has considerable intermolecular forces. Thus, in ideal gas, the heat supplied is fully utilized in doing the work of expansion, whereas in real gas, a part of heat supplied is used in overcoming the intermolecular forces of attraction, and the balanced amount of heat is utilized in doing the work of expansion. Consequently, the work done in the expansion of an ideal gas is numerically greater than the work done in the expansion of a real gas. Now, if we solve the numerical, which says 1 mole of benzene is converted reversibly into vapor at its boiling point 80.2 degrees Celsius by supplying heat, the vapor expands against the pressure of 1 atmosphere. The heat of vaporization of benzene is 395 joules per gram. Calculate QW, delta E and delta H for the process. Since the process is benzene in liquid state in equilibrium with benzene in vapor state. Heat supplied for conversion of 1 mole of benzene into vapor. Q is heat of vaporization per gram into molecular weight of benzene, which is 395 joules per gram into 78 grams per mole, which is equal to 30810 joules per mole. Work done will be given by minus W is equal to P delta V, which is equal to P Vf minus Vi is equal to RT. Temperature is 353 Kelvin. Minus W will become 8.314 into 353.2 is equal to 2936.5 joules per mole. And delta E would be given by Q plus W according to first law, which is 27873.5 joules per mole. So another question says 1 mole of gas is allowed to expand isothermally and reversibly from a volume of 1 decimeter cube to 50 decimeter cube at 273 Kelvin. Calculate W, Q, delta E assuming ideal gas behavior and van der Waals gas behavior. Data is given for A, B and R. For ideal gas, minus W is 2.303 into RT into log V2 by V1. Substituting the data, we get minus W is equal to 8876 joule. For isothermal expansion of an ideal gas, delta is 0. Therefore, delta is Q plus W, which will give minus W is equal to Q as equal to 8876 joules per mole. For van der Waals gas, if we apply the equation, we get minus W is equal to 8352 joules per mole and delta equal to minus A into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1, which is equal to 645.4 joules per mole. Q is delta E minus W, which is equal to 8997.6 joules per mole. Summary. Work done by an ideal gas in case of isothermal expansion is given by W is equal to minus nRT ln V2 by V1 or minus nRT ln P1 by P2. While in case of isothermal compression, it is W dash is equal to minus nRT ln V1 by V2 is equal to minus nRT ln P2 by P1. The relation between temperature and respective volume and reversible adiabatic expansion is given by T1 by T2 equal to V2 by V1 to the power gamma minus 1. Comparing the change in thermodynamic quantities in the case of ideal gas and real gas, we get work done as minus RT integral from V1 to V2 dV by V is equal to minus RT ln V2 by V1 for ideal gas, and for real gas it is nRT ln V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB plus AN square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1. And heat change Q is minus W and Q is equal to RT ln V2 by V1 for ideal gas and Q is equal to nRT ln V2 minus NB upon V1 minus NB for real gas. Enthalpy change delta H ideal gas is equal to 0 for ideal gas delta H is and delta H is equal to N square BRT into 1 over V2 minus NB 1 over V1 minus NB minus 2 AN square into 1 by V2 minus 1 by V1 for real gas.